So what's going on, guys? It's Jay, it's the Boxing Boy. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and like the videos. It really does help me out if you guys could do that for me. I'm just trying to build my subscribers up at the moment, you know, drop videos as frequently as I can, so bear with me on that. So if you guys could do that for me, it really would help me out. So it's finally here. It's finally upon us. It's fight week, baby. We've got Errol Spence Jr. versus Terence Crawford in Las Vegas for all the marbles at £147. And in my opinion, the implications for this fight are bigger than who is the number one at £147. For me, whoever wins this fight will be number one pound for pound in the sport. And I know that boxing is subjective. Other people are going to have Naoya Inoue if he beats Stephen Fulton in the early hours of this morning. That's a great fight. I can't wait for that fight as well. Such a good fight week for boxing. Other people are going to say Alexander Usyk for what he did at cruiserweight, becoming undisputed and then becoming unified heavyweight champion. And some people will still say Canelo Alvarez because he is still the face of boxing. He is still the biggest draw in boxing. So, you know, boxing is very subjective when it comes to the pound for pound list. But for me, whoever wins this fight on Saturday night will be the number one pound for pound fighter in the sport. Because this is such a big fight for boxing. You know, this is a proper fight. This is a throwback Vegas kind of fight. You know, the big fights from back in the day. Sugar Ray Leonard versus Tommy Hearns. Tommy Hearns versus Roberto Duran. Roberto Duran versus Sugar Ray Leonard. You know, Sugar Ray Leonard stepping up and fighting Marvin Hagler at middleweight. You know, big historic fight. And this is what this fight is on Saturday night between these two fighters. Both of these guys are fantastic fighters. You know, Errol Spence and Terence Crawford are both great fighters in their own right. Two very different fighters though, and I'm going to make my prediction on who I think is going to win this fight in this video. And I'm going to start off with Errol Spence. Errol Spence is a guy who's very methodical with his approach in the ring. He doesn't really do anything flashy. He's very up and down. He works behind the jab. He's got a very strong jab, Errol Spence. He breaks guys down with it. He throws body shots, you know, sickening body shots all night long, just constant, you know, pressure with the body work. And he slowly grows into a fight as the fight goes on. He seems to get stronger as the fight goes on. And he just slowly breaks the will of the other fighter when he's in there. We saw that when he fought Yordenis Ugas. We saw that when he fought Danny Garcia. We saw that when he fought Kell Brook. We saw that when he fought Mikey Garcia, when Mikey Garcia stepped up to fight him at welterweight. The only person, in my opinion, who's gave him serious problems is Sean Porter. Because their fight was a very good fight. Because Sean Porter, in my opinion, has quick feet. He's always had quick feet, Sean Porter. And he's very good with his in and out movement in the ring. And I thought that gave Errol Spence problems when they fought. Errol Spence managed to get a split decision victory. He dropped Sean Porter in the 11th round. And I think that was a big moment for him to get the victory and to secure that victory that night. So Errol Spence, in my opinion, he likes guys who are going to stand with him. When a guy is a bit more fleet-footed, he seems to have more problems. And I think on Saturday night against Terence Crawford, it could be a problem for him. And then you've got Terence Crawford, who, you know, is a special fighter, is an exceptional fighter. A guy who switch hits, a guy who's very unorthodox at times, a guy who throws shots from looping angles, who creates angles, who pivots very well. He's just a very dynamic fighter, Terence Crawford. And on Saturday night, I think he's going to cause Errol Spence problems because of all of them things I just said there. Because Errol Spence, you know, like I said, he doesn't really do well with guys who are a bit more fleet-footed. He likes guys who are going to stand with him. Whereas Terence Crawford, he's going to, you know, create angles. He's going to be throwing shots from different angles, looping shots, uppercuts, body shots, straight left hands. And it's going to be coming at angles that maybe Errol Spence hasn't seen before. And, you know, I think it's going to be a problem for Errol Spence as the fight goes on. But the one thing I can say about Terence Crawford that he doesn't do very well, he's a very slow starter. He's a guy who doesn't really get into the fight until 4-5 rounds into the fight. You know, he's the guy who takes the first 3 rounds to have a look. He doesn't start particularly fast. And he can't allow Errol Spence to get into a rhythm. Because if he allows Errol Spence to get into a rhythm and start, you know, slowly putting the pressure on him, you know, using his jab, hitting him to the body, using his size, because he is a bigger man. Errol Spence. He is a lot bigger than Terence Crawford naturally, and I think, you know, that could be a problem for Terence Crawford in the fight if Errol Spence uses that to his advantage. So my prediction for this fight, I'm going with Terence Crawford. I think Terence Crawford will get the victory. I think he will win this fight by unanimous decision. I think he will outbox Errol Spence, but I am not sleeping on Errol Spence. Like, I'm picking Terence Crawford. It's my prediction, but it's not the strongest prediction I've ever made because I cannot sleep on Errol Spence. Errol Spence, like I said, he doesn't do anything flashy. He's very methodical, but it's so effective. The guy is a unified champion at welterweight and arguably the best welterweight in the world for a reason. And that's why he's been dominant for so long, even after coming back from a really bad car crash that he had 4 years ago when his car flipped over and he was lucky to survive that. He still managed to come back and fight guys like Danny Garcia and Yordenis Ugas and, you know, pick up very good victories over them. And they're two guys who are very good fighters in their own right. So, you know, I cannot sleep on Errol Spence. He is a very, very good fighter. But for me, I think that Terence Crawford is a special fighter. And I think the things like creating the angles and the switch hitting and the throwing the shots from different angles, I think it's going to cause problems, and the footwork is going to cause problems for Errol Spence on Saturday night. I know some people are saying that Terence Crawford could knock Errol Spence out. I think that Errol Spence is a dog. I think this guy is a dog. I don't think he's going to get knocked out by Terence Crawford, but I do think Terence Crawford will win the fight by decision. But, you know, this is boxing. This is a great fight. And like I said, it's not a strong prediction from myself. If you think Errol Spence is going to win the fight on Saturday night, I got no problem with that because Errol Spence, like I said, is a great fighter. So, yeah, comment below in the comment section. What do you guys think? What is your prediction for this fight on Saturday night? Are you looking forward to this fight? Because I know I am. And I know so many boxing fans out there that are. So, comment below in the comment section. I'm out.